For many a year, a cultural highlight of the festive period has been the Christmas special, an episode of a popular television show to celebrate this season and make us feel a bit more magical. In the UK, we have an extremely rich and vibrant history of such specials, and today I'm going to take you through what I consider to be the 5 best. So are you ready? Let's go! Number 5, Only Fools and Horses. Even though much of my family really loved Only Fools and Horses, I must confess I was never a huge fan. I really enjoyed what I've watched, but I never really got into it like a lot of other people did. But like so many other of the greatest Christmas specials of all time, this one is canon. If for nothing else, this Christmas special created one of the single most iconic and definitive moments in British television history, bar none. The shot of Del Boy and Rodney as they run towards the councilwoman dressed as Batman and Robin is worth the price of admission by itself. Initially, there were lots of ideas floating around for dozens of different angles and shots, but due to time and budget constraints, they ended up only using 2, and it is perfect. Less is more. And even though this episode doesn't necessarily have the most Christmas magic, it is just iconic, and therefore it had to be included. Oh, I really miss canned laughter as well. Number 4, Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. For me, it isn't Christmas until I have watched Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. It doesn't matter who you are, where in the world you live, what languages you speak or don't speak, Mr. Bean is funny. Mr. Bean is still funny today. This Christmas special is a smorgasbord of sketches, funny moments, and Christmassy magic. From seeing Mr. Bean diligently testing a set of Christmas lights, which was absolutely mandatory for those that remember the pre-LED era of Christmas lights, to acting out the nativity with toys. There is beautiful, light-hearted fun, and my personal highlight is when Bean accidentally winds up conducting the brass quartet. Pure brilliance. But we also have the emotional beats, such as when Bean presents his girlfriend with what he thinks is the exact gift that she asked for, only for her to inexplicably storm out. And whilst this doesn't necessarily hit as hard as some of the other entries on this list, Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean is a fun and moving Christmas special. And as with Only Fools and Horses, for those of us alive and kicking in the 90s, it is a mandatory watch.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean.
Number 3, The Vicar of Dibley. You're probably noticing a theme here. But like with the others, if you were conscious during the 90s and in the United Kingdom, The Vicar of Dibley was also canon. End of story. This was Dawn French's definitive role, and although some of the show's humour hasn't aged the most gracefully, as with many other shows, it is still fundamentally a very, very funny show. And aside from the moment when Geraldine drank some Lucasade so that she could get back to business, the show's most iconic episode, in my opinion, was when she was too afraid to disappoint her parish and ended up having 4 Christmas dinners in one day.
Well, that's original. Not going for the traditional turkey, then?
Well, not as a starter, no.
Right.
In order to please them all. For some of us, the linchpin of Christmas Day is presents. For others, it's seeing family. But for the rest, it is the Christmas meal. And after having made all of her hosts feel appreciated and having consumed all 4 generous plates of Christmas dinner or lunch or whatever you want to call it, Geraldine returns home, collapses on the sofa, literally stuffed. This is an episode about community, family, and sharing. Many of the very best things about Christmas. Number 2, Gavin and Stacy. There are Christmas specials and Christmas specials. This is the latter. While there are so many ways to approach making a Christmas episode, many of the very best manage to organically realize a sense of nostalgia in real time. The first Gavin and Stacy Christmas special successfully achieved this in an extraordinary way. They created a nostalgic Christmas memory for us right in front of our eyes. Unlike the 2019 special, which really was overly reliant on tropes to manifest this Christmas feeling, making it feel very forced and therefore not very moving, the 2008 special executed it better than almost any other. And at the end of the episode, seeing Mick play us out on his new keyboard, we are really left feeling nostalgic for something that literally only happened 2 minutes before. It is an extraordinary episode of television and might be my favourite episode of Gavin and Stacy ever. Number 1, The Office Christmas Specials. For many people up and down the land, the office party is as fundamental part of Christmas as the family meal itself. Although not necessarily enjoyed as much, it's still very important. This is the hook around which the Office Christmas specials latch, using it to show how hurt David has been by his being made redundant and how he's attempted to maintain a relationship with Hogg all the same. He regularly turns up during the day. He was excited to be going to the work Christmas meal, even though he doesn't work there anymore, and is then told that he won't be allowed to go, etc., etc.
I don't want to. Listen to me.
These are all beats in the story, and they're all important in driving it forward. But ultimately, the reason the Office Christmas specials are the greatest of all time is that they were the natural, inevitable culmination and conclusion of everything that came before it. For the most part, The Office is an excruciating show to watch. It is painful moment
Psychedelic, baby. Groovy. Oh, yeah.
after painful moment
Who wants to go for a drink tomorrow to show?
after painful moment
Do you want a starter?
No, let's go straight to the main course.
after painful moment.
Do you like it? Ooh, so I put that on you. Brilliant. Twice. I was already wet, so the joke's on her.
With every potential promise of respite being ripped away from us at the very last moment. That is, until the last 10 minutes of the show's very last episode. The awkward agony that we had all endured time
You were in a documentary?
Yeah.
What was it?
Come on.
after time
God, you're not that awful boss, are you?
No.
What's your name?
Huh?
after time
When's the wedding?
Not till next year.
I'll be bloody married by then.
after time
No. Yeah, so, he's up there, yeah, sorry.
after time
What the fuck's that?
Who are you?
sets up what might be the most cathartic series of payoffs in TV show history. David ends up having a good day, from his date arriving for the Christmas party and them getting on really, really well, to
Chris. Why don't you fuck off?
in a lot of ways, David Brent is really not a likable character and is instead a very pitiable character. And maybe it's my abnormal sense of empathy, which can actually be a real nightmare. Maybe it's that at play, but I always yearned to see something go right for him. And it does. It's nothing major, it's just he has a good day. But as satisfying as that was, the greatest moment in the entire show is also the most human, and it wasn't to do with David. Great stories often figure out interesting and emotional ways to express fundamental parts of the human experience. In the case of Dawn and Tim, they both know what they want, and they've both known since the beginning of the show. They both know that they're miserable without it. But as humans, they're so terrified of rejection and losing what they have that they continue in their melancholy, refusing to allow themselves the chance of genuine happiness. That is, until the absolute last possible moment. And this is, ultimately, the greatness of The Office and its grand arc. Patiently torturing us with years of agony in order for these final 10 minutes to be the most pure and powerful catharsis possible.
Careful, she's got a fiance.
Not anymore.
Of course, Lucy Davis and Martin Freeman make this moment what it is. There's just something about Martin Freeman's expressions that just seem so real, and he brings this quality to The Office, and this is one of the reasons that this ending is so fantastic. And along with the resolution of Dawn and Tim's melancholic love story, it's topped off with David Brent doing his impression, and for once, everybody laughs.
Oh, I'm having a bit of trouble myself.
And this ultimately is what makes The Office Christmas specials the greatest of all time.
That is Frank Spencer.
Oh, do it again.
Man, that Office Christmas special, I really do think that is outstanding. But there are Christmas specials being made all the time. But I can't help but feel there is a qualitative difference between those of today and those of yesteryear. I'm just old enough to remember when television in the United Kingdom consisted of 4 channels, and I even remember when the 5th one arrived, and I remember being excited about it, although that particular excitement did not last very long. What this meant was that for a while, given the lack of programming and the lack of TV channels, when a great Christmas special came along, it was a very culturally important moment for the entire country. To put this in perspective, when the Morecambe and Wise Christmas special aired in 1977, 28 million people tuned in, which at the time was half the population of the UK. Think about that, half the country watching the same episode of television at the same time. It is unimaginable today. And that's not to say it's better or worse than the more atomized personal servings of content that we consume today, but culturally, I personally can't help but feel that something has been lost. Now, we may end up getting a small glimpse of this feeling with the new Gavin and Stacy Christmas special this year, but aside from rare moments like this, it does feel that these kinds of cultural moments are likely gone forever. But luckily for us, there is a huge, rich repository of Christmas magic for us to enjoy, and being in the streaming age, it has never been easier to access, watch, and share with your family and friends. So whatever you end up doing this Christmas, however you're spending it, whomever you're spending it with, or even if you're spending it alone, I hope that you have a magical time and you're able to have your own little slice of Christmas magic. So please let me know what you thought about this selection. Tell me how completely insanely wrong I was about them all. What's your favorite Christmas special? Do you also love The Office Christmas specials as much as me, or do you love others more? Please let me know. If you enjoyed the video, consider clicking the like button. If you'd like to watch more videos on cool, awesome stuff, please consider subscribing. But other than that, Merry Christmas. I hope you're having an amazing festive season, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.